summer afternoon, you decide to leave your new home and go for a walk, exploring the local woodland that you noticed on your drive up here. When you step outside your home, you can feel the sun on your skin, and you take a note of how warm it is. The sun is out, and there are very few clouds. So you feel quite grateful that you've chosen to walk through the woods. You take a path behind your house that leads down to a dirt road. As you walk down this path, you notice that there are little shrines on the side of the road that look like tiny little houses. This is something you hadn't noticed before. And you take a moment to pause in front of them. As you pause, you have a moment of gratitude for something small in your life right now. After you say thank you, you carry on your walk, leading down the path on the road into the woods. As you walk through the woodland, you notice many, many camphor trees on all sides of you, providing abundance of shade, but with little dapples of golden light coming through. The scent of the camphor trees has this beautiful, earthy, medicinal scent, reminding you somewhat of eucalyptus. You continue walking through the woods, and as you do, you're taking a big, deep breath in and out. Breathing in the medicine of the trees, allowing it to calm and soothe you the further you walk into the woods. as you're walking, you notice that the path starts to disappear. But up ahead, you see his small statue in front of a tunnel. The outside of this tunnel is very peculiar. It looks very, very old. But as you get closer, you can see that it's just plaster. And there is red paint chipping off of it. You turn around, placing your hand gently onto the statue, which feels like a very cool stone to the touch. As you're standing here, examining the statue, a cool breeze blows through, and it feels as though the tunnel is beckoning you in. The tunnel is long and dark, and from where you're standing, you can't quite see through to the other side. You take a couple of steps towards it, and the feeling of cold air that is slightly damp calls you in, and you decide to take this small detour on your adventure. As you walk through the tunnel, you start to see some golden light at the end, which gives you hope and a sense of excitement to see what's on the other side. You enter into an expansive room filled with stone walls and stone columns. The light is being filtered through stained glass, which gives you a sense of peace and calm. And as you look around, you notice that it is in fact an old train station. There are benches around the room, and as you turn to take a good look, you see a door, and you decide to go through it. With both hands, you open this big, heavy door, and on the other side, there is a huge meadow with a very gentle breeze blowing long grasses, and it feels so refreshing on your face. You stand there, taking in the view, noticing big, pillowy clouds floating by in the most perfect blue shade of sky. As you look around, you can see big rocks half buried in the field, along with old abandoned buildings and a dry stone riverbed. Feeling brave, you decide to cross the riverbed, and you make your way up a hill towards what looks like a colorful little town. Climbing up the hill, you can feel the muscles in your feet and calves getting quite fatigued. And you're realizing just how long you've been walking for. At the top of the hill, you notice that this town looks like it's been well maintained, but you don't see any people around. You wander through the streets, looking around and noticing all the different colors of buildings. Some are pink, some are blue, others are green and red. And you notice that they all have a similar traditional decor to them. Even though there are no people, you can smell the most delicious food being cooked. And you notice that it's been a while since you last ate. You can't quite see where the food is, so you follow the scent, leading you to what seems like a town center. As you start to wander over to the abundant plates piled high with food, the most imposing statue stands in the middle. Curious, you go up and read what is written on it, and all it says is oil. This piques your curiosity because this town seems abandoned. Why would they need so much oil? You take a few more steps forward, and just behind the statue, you notice the ocean, and you can hear the seagulls. and taste the salt in the air. As you look around, you spot an enormous building. This building is tall and it is green and red with a very traditional style to it. To get to the building, you must walk over a long red bridge. And so you decide to go and see what this building is used for. As you get closer, you can see there is hot springs around the outside of the building. Water is rushing between the rocks, and you can see steam billowing off of this water. Remembering how much your muscles were aching, you enter the building, hoping that they will have some availability for a bath. The inside of the building is made of hinoki wood and in a very traditional style. Instantly, you recognize the scent of hinoki, which brings such a calm, peaceful sense to your body. An attendant greets you. They show you where your bath will be and lead you to a pair of slippers and a robe for you to change into. The robe feels silky against your skin, and as you walk, the slippers make such a pleasant tapping sound on the wooden floors. They lead you back to your bath, which is filled to the brim with hot water straight from the hot springs. You are given a choice of tokens to choose from, each listing the name of an herb that can be added to your bath to enhance the healing properties. You read through each of the tokens. One says mugwort, which is a green herb, helpful for sleep and dreaming. Another is rose petals, perfect for beautifying the skin and softening it. The third is marigold, to help uplift the mood and to bring down any inflammation. You decide to go with a mixture of marigold and mugwort to help restore your sore body Once you enter the bath, the attendant takes your choices and returns with the herbs to help enhance your bath. You sink into the bath, feeling the water rise up over your shoulders, and you let out a deep sigh. Here in the bathhouse, you feel so safe and so nurtured by how caring the attendants were, by the aroma of the hinoki wood and the herbs now in your bath. You take a few minutes just to deeply breathe with your eyes shut, and you sense your muscles relaxing from your toes to your feet, up to your calves and your thighs. Noticing your hips and your stomach, up to your shoulders, down your arms, to your hands, slowly releasing any tension, allowing your body to relax. This feeling of relaxation moves up your neck to your jaw and in between your eyebrows, your forehead, and your scalp. All the tension, any stress, all dissolving into the bath. And you can stay in this bath as long as you like. And when you're ready to leave, just know that you can return at any time to take care of yourself and find a bit of rest and relaxation.